Hello everyone, welcome my channel. I hope you had a wonderful day. Please like and subscribe to the video before we begin. As a new era begins, Ichi discovers a potentially game-changing memory from his shooting days of our lives. Maggie swoops in to help Chad, Kristen is upset, and EJ regains a critical memory. Kat and Chad congratulate each other on the fundraiser's success and appreciate the opportunity to get to know each other. JJ joins them, and Chad inquires whether he has resolved matters with Gabby. Nope. This is when he admits he accused her of attempted murder. Days of Our Lives change has arrived. Here's why you need to start watching now. Thomas comes over to grab his dad to go play games. JJ's about to leave, but first Kat stops him to assure him that Gabby can and will forgive him, just like Chad did with her. She runs off before he can say anything else, and JJ heads into the pub to ask Kayla if he can get in to ask EJ some questions. Kat joins Chad and Thomas as Maggie says hi, then takes the kid off to sign up for a game. Chad tells Maggie Stephanie is getting lunch with Charlotte away from the fair, trying to calm down her separation anxiety while he does the bachelor auction. Maggie's in the process of saying Charlotte knows he'll never replace Abigail when Kat returns and overhears. Maggie offers Sarah and Xander advice. Maggie congratulates Kayla on her fundraising efforts and vows to continue donating. Out in the square, Xander brings some hot dogs over to Sarah, who is sulking, and asks her what happened with Philip. She seemed far too friendly. She was acting polite in public and advises Xander to be civil for Maggie's sake. Maggie approaches Xander, who informs her of Philip's betrayal. Maggie takes everything in. Sarah makes it plain that they were all surprised to find out. Sarah then makes a mess, and Xander dashes out to grab a serviette. Sarah takes the opportunity to commiserate with her mother. The secret, and admits she doesn't know if she'll come clean or not. More, new head writers tease what's ahead with the change. If she'd come to Maggie right off the bat, then maybe, but now Sarah's mom isn't sure what's right. Xander returns with Rachel, who runs off with Sarah to play games. Maggie's about to run after them, but she stops to ask Xander what his plans for Philip are. He admits he has to play nice for now because of Demira. Right. Maggie asks him to be compassionate towards Philip. She believes Victor would have wanted them working together, but it's too much for Xander. Kristen's unsettled by EG. Kristen wants to head home from the fundraiser, but Rachel begs her to stay to play with Nora James and Thomas and Charlotte. Kristen sighs and tells her to stay with Nora James' mom and Uncle Chad. She heads over to visit EG in the hospital to demand what the hell he did with her mother. That's the only reason she's glad he pulled through. He plays dumb, swearing that he has no clue where she is. But I do know that you care for her deeply, and I pray that you find her soon. Kristen doesn't know why he's being so sensitive, but figures it was the coma. But also she's got other things on her plate, like losing Demira. She wants a temporary truce so they can get it back. She assumes she can count on him. I'm afraid you can't. He looks sad as she rants at him for abandoning him, then tells her he's changed. He reflected on himself while in the coma and didn't like what he saw. Or Johnny did either. I need to do better. Be better. Kristen's disgusted. This reeks of desperation. EG assures her this isn't a ruse. Then the person who shot you should win the Nobel Peace Prize. Kristen's money is on Gabby, and EJ says his mom had a vision of Gabby in the mansion, but he may be looking at the shooter right now. He hopes not, and doesn't think she'd risk it, but if she had, he'd forgive her. Kristen's in the middle of threatening her brother some more when Kayla and JG show up. Kristen leaves, and EJ politely asks JJ what he wants to know. He can't remember much from that night. He was drinking a lot and seems to have blacked out a bit. Kayla doesn't think it's the alcohol, but the injury messing with his memory. He remembers Chanel, Kristen, but can't get anything else. Kayla asks JJ to leave, then hangs back at EG's behest. He tells her he appreciates her aid in his recovery. Kayla says he's important to people she cares about, like Sami who came to see him and Johnny. EG didn't know that, and Kayla tells him before leaving that Johnny came to see his dad too. He hasn't written you off yet. EJ looks about ready to cry. Kayla apologizes to JJ for not getting answers, then tells him to return with her to the fundraiser. He tells her he'll have to catch up later just to get a text from ballistics. The bullet was too damaged to compare to Ava's gun, which isn't a match, but doesn't rule her out. Kristen gets back to the fundraiser as an excited Rachel shows her the teddy bear she won with Sarah. And since Sarah borrowed Rachel, maybe she can borrow Xander. He looks annoyed as Sarah pulls Rachel away. Alone, Kristen tells Xander she's got something to offer. He's not interested, so Kristen pours her drink on him. Kayla apologizes that the auction has gone on longer than they planned, so Chad will be the last live bachelor, and the rest will be online. Before she can get very far, Maggie throws up her paddle and bids $1 million. She walks over and they hug. There's no competition. Chad thanks her profusely for getting her out of going on a random date. Who says you got out of anything? I expect to be wined and dined. Out in the square, Xander tells an inquisitive Rachel that her mom accidentally threw her drink his face. As Rachel points out, throwing isn't an accident. He removes his shirt, flustering Kristen, who takes Rachel and heads away. Sarah's more than a little turned on and suggests they go home to play some carnival games. Chad and Kat show up, and Rachel spots them, thinking Abigail's back. Kristen tries explaining that she's not Abigail, which Kat hears and gets upset about. Chad clearly does too. He just kind of wanders away from Kat. Gigi's on the phone with Trip, asking to speak with Ava. She's not there. She went to a Tibetan monastery. In bed, E.G. looks concerned. Then we get a flashback to a device in a statue. Rafe's bug. Oh my God, E.G. gasps. On the next days of our lives, Jada and Rafe move forward, and Sean gets an update on Bo. Watch days on Peacock $7.99 plus. Change can be scary, but sometimes it genuinely is good. And sometimes it can be the perfect excuse to pick something back up that we've gotten away from. That, hopefully, is the case for Days of Our Lives fans who have been wanting something new. Because today was the show's first episode, penned by new co-head writers Paula Quickly and Jean Marie Ford. As a new era begins, E.G. recovers a potentially game-changing memory from his shooting. The show even marked the occasion with an Instagram post making clear that today was a brand new day on a brand new page. And we'll admit, while it's tough to put our finger on why, the show felt different. A bit less campy and more grounded, maybe. Perhaps it's just our imagination, because we know that today was the first day in over 7 years with a new writing team. It's certainly not a complete reinvention. Xander still ended up without a shirt. But maybe it was also E.G.'s change in demeanor. The respectful way he treated JJ, who wasn't even there officially for his job. The calm discussion of who could have shot him. The genuine look of being overwhelmed at hearing that both Sami and Johnny visited him. He seemed so genuinely thoughtful and sincere that we actually questioned if he really did make Kristen's mom disappear. Could she really have wandered off by herself at the most suspicious moment possible? No. But yes, maybe. This is all an act, right? It has to be. But all of a sudden, we're genuinely unsure, which is something we did not expect. Or maybe it was Maggie's gentle understanding with Chad, swooping in to rescue not just him from having to go on a date he doesn't want to, but giving the hospital a cool $1 million in the process. Perhaps she even took the time to explain what we've all been wondering. Why doesn't Maggie simply send a check to save the hospital? Her funds are invested in stocks that are linked to the Demira/Titan scandal. It is a beginning, but it doesn't explain why she didn't do that initially. Although it's probably too soon to predict how the show will change in the future, Quickly and Ford told Soaps.com that they are prioritizing emotion above storyline. In any case, there is one modification that offers the ideal opportunity for people who lost faith in Days of Our Lives to jump back in and see how it goes. What are your thoughts? How did you feel about the first day of the change? What are your thoughts on the first day? Thank you for watching the video. Please continue to follow and subscribe to my WSR Media channel.